The next area is looking at different organisational shapes and where we fit into this. Because in many organisations there is a bit of an expectation which is different from reality when it comes to what do we think the leadership is capable of. Let me show you a chart. In this organisation, these are different, let's say, different department heads. And in department ABC, there are different functions which are happening, A, B, and C. And we expect the department head to be kind of expert in A, B, and C. Well, in this department 1, 2, 3, they have different functions, 1, 2, and 3. And we expect the department head to be skilled in 1, 2, and 3. In department 4, 5, 6, indeed, they have the functions 4, 5, and 6. And we expect the department head to be skilled in 4, 5, and 6. But of course that then requires that this director of these two departments, he should be skilled in 1, 2, 3 and 4, 5, 6. And somebody who is going to be up above all of these departments, like an executive director, well, they should be skilled in ABC and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, as well as X, Y, and Z, and all of these other things. And that's totally unrealistic. We cannot expect our seniors to know all of the stuff that we know, as well as all of the stuff that our peers know. It's just not realistic. So what should they know? What should they be expert in? And actually, as well as thinking about this and how this relates to our seniors, how about us? When we are team leader or a department head, is it reasonable for us to know everything that is going on in our department, to be an expert in whatever question might come from anybody in our team? No, it's not reasonable. We actually hire our team members because they are good at their jobs. We shouldn't necessarily be able to take over every job that is inside our team. There has to be some things that leaders can do that is different from all the things that our team members can do. What is that? Well, it's all about conducting that orchestra. A good conductor knows if the trumpet or the violin or the piano is playing well. But that doesn't mean that the conductor themselves is an expert at playing the trumpet or the violin or the piano. They know what they're listening for. They know what to look out for. They know when to say something and when not to say something. They know how to encourage. They know how to challenge. They know what the end goal is. They know how to get the team to that end goal. But then they're not trying to be an expert in every one of the instruments individually. What they do need to be an expert in is the ability of future, engage, and deliver, and achieve the task, build the team, and capacity build the individuals. That is what the leader needs to focus on. This core of being a good conductor, of being a leader in the middle. It doesn't mean that they, as the head of the department, doesn't necessarily need to be an expert in all of the fields and all of the subjects that are being dealt with by that department. That's not realistic. It's not possible. It's not actually what we should be spending our time on. What we as leaders should be spending our time on is really understanding what is the future of my department. How do I convey that picture to my team in such a way that it engages them, it enthuses them, it excites them, it builds them up? How do I deliver that future picture? How do I achieve that future picture? How do I build up my team members? How do I build the team? Those are the kind of things that the leader needs to focus on, not trying to be an expert in everything that's going on inside their team and being able to answer every single question. Very often, I think, when team members bring questions to the team leader, they're expecting an answer. You're the head of the team. You're the one who recruited me. You should know the answer. And I think that that is completely wrong, because it totally disempowers the team member. actually what you as the leader want to do in order to empower them is to push the question back onto them and say, I don't know. Tell me, what do you think we should do? Give me 3 or 4 options. Let's talk through those options. Okay, you've got option A and B. Oh, yeah, okay, and B and option C. Great, okay. And then, of course, they're telling you, oh, which one should I choose? You're the boss. You should be choosing. But again, I would push it back to them and say, well, you tell me about the pros and the cons of A and B and C. And when they've told you the pros and cons, probably one of them is starting to show up as being quite obviously the best option. And you can say, well, it seems to me that you think B is the best choice. What do you think? And you have to be convincing them so that they are taking the decisions. It's not so that you can go, ha, I didn't decide it, he decided it. No, that's not what this is about. But it's about empowering them and helping to grow your team beyond your capabilities often. That these team members, they have between them a range of skills which is way beyond what you can manage. And that's fantastic because it means that your team can really achieve some stuff. What they need from you is not an expert who's going to solve every problem for them. What they need is a conductor who is going to balance things out between the different team members, who's going to encourage and challenge and give focus and give direction at the right time, not answer every one of their questions. I want you to think just for a minute, who is on your team? What kind of skills, what gifts do they have? What strengths do they have? Maybe you could take a moment and press pause and kind of think through who is on my team. Where do I need to help empower them? Where can I let go a little bit and let them do it? Because actually they've got skills, they've got capabilities. And if I could empower my team more, they would actually be more powerful if I just let go of them. That they as a team, we as a team, would actually achieve so much more than just trying to manage what I can cope with. I also want that we look a little bit at status, because status is a tricky thing for leaders. Often when we are in a position of leadership, along with that position often comes some degree of status. But status is going to be different for different people in different situations. I'm sure you can imagine, there are some positions, some roles that have a great deal of status attached to them. And, for kings and queens, we kind of recognize that. But actually, even in our own organizations, we have a pretty good understanding of what status looks like for different positions in our organizations. Who gets to sit in the front of the vehicle? Who gets to sit in the back? Who has a glass top on their desk or who doesn't? Who gets the fancy, smart, latest laptop compared to those who they get last year's model? There's always stuff. Usually it is stuff. It's things that denote, that demonstrate where we fall in the status ladder. And how people behave when we are around. How they talk to you, whether they say sir or madam or not. How they make eye contact, whether they ask challenging questions, how they speak or how they speak. We have different ways of recognizing the status. But I'd like to challenge us to be really, really careful with status, because although we might think it is very natural, of course it's like that, but should it be like that? Let's look back at something called the paradox of status. We've got these 5 different levels, whether we're looking at position, permission, production, people development, and pinnacle leader, 5 levels of influence, or whether we're looking at the 5 levels of leadership as being highly capable individual, right the way through to being a great leader. as we progress up this ladder, I would hope that we move further and further away from status. And instead, we move towards respect. Because that is different, isn't it? We all know that there are some people who they require respect being paid to them, and that is status. It's an outward respect, but it's not in the heart. You know, there are some people whom I respect outwardly because I have to. They are in that kind of position. I have to show them the correct level of honor. That is about status. And if you find that people are paying you status, but you know that they don't really respect you in their heart, then you're still down here somewhere. You are relying on your positional power too much. You may be a highly capable individual, but you are not yet a contributing team player or a competent manager. You're not, you haven't yet earned the permission. You're not giving them permission to serve in their way. They're not respecting you for who you are. And I wonder if one of the solutions to this is what we call servanthood, which is where we take the organizational chart and we put it on its head. Not symbolically. If we just do this on paper and we don't do anything to change our culture, we don't do anything to change our attitudes and how we behave, this is a complete waste of time. Actually, it will backfire and it will actually be worse for you than before. But if we actually do this as leaders, that instead of seeing ourselves at the top of the tree, we are the pinnacle of this organization. No, you're not. You're the servant of this organization. You are the one who is there. You don't actually play the trumpet. You don't play the piano. You don't play the violin. You just wave the stick. You are the servant. It's a very important role. and often it is highly paid. You know, often it is more highly paid. It does have many blessings, but it also has many challenges with it. I don't think we should quickly want to hold this kind of position. But I think that we should learn to see ourselves as leader as somebody who serves our team. Because the more that we serve our team, the more we empower our team, the more that we pour ourselves out for our team, the more the team as a whole will deliver. And we as the team leader, maybe we get honored for that. Maybe it's a good thing for our team to deliver, because ultimately our team exists so that we deliver the fruit of our organization, the objectives. We can't do that when we are so focused on ourselves and we fail to empower those below us. So I think this can be a real challenge for us to see ourselves, not just to turn this around on a piece of paper. That's not good enough. But do we choose to see ourselves as the leader, as the servant of the team or of the organization, rather than the one at the top who deserves to receive all of the honor?